Mandalorian, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 5. Last night, or this morning, depending on where you are. Let's do a little bit of a spoiler-free, because it hasn't been up for that long. So a spoiler-free review of this. Favorite episode so far? Least favorite? Where does it lie in the others?
For me, it's landing kind of in the middle of everything. I would say episode 3 is still my favorite, followed by episode 2. Then I would put the pilot, then this episode, and then last episode, episode 4.
Okay.
So it was a little bit higher than last episode, but I'm still like, there's a bigger story that I'm waiting to get to. And I feel like we're getting there in a way that's very interesting character work, but it's for me, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, when are we getting there? When are we getting there? But I'm still enjoying the hell out of myself. There's so many great moments in all of these episodes. And this one, for me, it's like, okay, it kind of, no spoilers, but it ends and I go, okay, what's going on? And I'm excited.
Okay.
Dorina, how are you feeling?
Very differently.
Yeah, okay.
So I really enjoyed the third episode. It's definitely my favorite. I thought it was the one that was directed that made me feel like I was watching my Star Wars, which is the original trilogy. Honestly, the last few, if Baby Yoda wasn't there, I don't know if I'd care. Is that bad?
It's a legitimate question.
I'm trying to think because there's so many shots in the show that look beautiful. Music's great. Obviously, love Mando. But it just seems like there's a lot. It's a much slower moving show, which is fine because that's how old Star Wars was, right? Yeah. And it seems also kind of like that scene in Clerks 2 where they explain Lord of the Rings and they're like, oh, he's just Fellowship of the Ring. I'm just walking a lot. And then the second movie, it's just I don't exactly what you said, Riley. I'm waiting to see what happens. And if Baby Yoda wasn't there, and if it wasn't a Star Wars show, I wonder if I would actually be really, really invested in it. Yeah. Because it's cool to see all these, battle sequences in space. It's cool to see Mando on the speeder bike. It's stuff that like makes you nostalgic, and it's like, oh yeah, that looks cool because I know that. But would I care if it wasn't a Star Wars show?
Saving grace right now is the fact that it is half an hour,
right?
Because at least I don't have time to be like, oh, this is dragging,
right?
Because every episode we aren't accomplishing that much right now, but it's okay because it's so short. One of the biggest issues I think that this show is having, which is of no fault of its own, is the fact that it's on the same time as Watchmen.
Correct.
Because right now, Watchmen is the buzz. It is the show that everybody's comparing everything to, and people are saying Watchmen is not only one of the best shows on currently, but is the best comic book show of all time. And when people are talking Watchmen in nerd culture, it's definitely casting a huge shadow on everything else. And Mandalorian isn't getting the hype and buzz that Watchmen is right now. Right. But that being said, I actually am really enjoying it.
Okay.
Because I like Mando.
Yeah.
If I didn't like him, if I didn't feel a connection to him, I probably wouldn't be feeling that way. Baby Yoda is cool too, but Baby Yoda actually was not in as much of this episode. I don't think that's a spoiler. Just was in a little less of this episode than other episodes in the past.
Also, did Baby Yoda always make those noises, or did I just start hearing them?
It's becoming a little bit more apparent. I think it's because he's always been making them, or he or she, we don't know, has been making those noises, and it's starting to.
Because it sounds more like a baby, and it's kind of freaking me out more. It's like getting less cute.
Yeah, don't
freak
become
me out.
a human, because then you're not cute.
Because babies aren't as cute as Baby Yoda. So,
totally.
Yeah.
Cody, did you watch?
I have not yet.
Okay.
Alex?
Nope.
Okay.
So are you guys now? Cody and Alex, but you guys are watching Watchmen.
Yeah, that show's amazing.
Yeah, that's what's hard, man.
I watch that immediately once it's available.
Well, this show isn't making the cultural stance that Watchmen is right now.
No.
I think it's just good Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just like,
and
it's nice to have good Star Wars out there, and the Star Wars nerds like me and all of us really are enjoying being in the Star Wars universe, but it's not breaking new ground like Watchmen is.
And we don't have, in the Star Wars movies, we don't have time to go spend a half an hour on a journey where you're just, at the end of it, you either did or did not accomplish what you set out to do, but regardless, it doesn't quite matter. We do have time to do that on the show. So I think that they're just breathing a little bit, taking their time to explore the universe, show us what they've got here. And I do think that they will pick up the pace.
They have
and,
to.
And do you guys think it suffers a little bit from the fact that, and this could just be the way I look at it, obviously, but because every episode Mando is going through like a different set of journey, right, where he's meeting different characters that we don't know, and that's hard to, I think, for the audience to be like, oh yeah, I care about this character that you just met every single episode. That's like a new person, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's an interesting point because it kind of goes to the overall what I felt with both of these last 2 episodes. Almost like we're just kind of treading water. We're just kind of there.
Right. I like the person we met this episode, though.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I had.
Well, I know we met a few of them, but the person.
Are you talking about the dude or
no?
the
I'm talking about the
woman.
The woman that
Okay.
we meet early on.
Okay, so
I like her a lot. She's quirky.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with her.
Right.
She makes strange faces.
there have been a couple.
You're like, she's weird. I like her.
Totally.
You didn't feel that character in particular kind of stuck out like a sore thumb like I did.
No, she definitely stuck out like
and
a
I
sore
think-
thumb. But
and
some
it was-
people in life stand out like sore thumbs.
And I'm
Like
okay with
all of
that. It just felt a little bit un-Star Wars
I know,
to me.
and people have been saying that on the internet. Like, she doesn't fit in a Star Wars world. But, like, how many times do you meet somebody on the street in our world and think, like, that person's not of this world?
Right. But that's
her.
the thing.
She's
Great.
weird for that universe.
But that's the thing about, I mean, tonally, I think is a problem for all of us because a lot of us grew up with the original trilogy, right? And that has a specific tone, but then the prequels have an entirely different tone, right? The new movies have a different tone. Like Solo had a different tone. So there's all of the Star Wars universe has expanded so much that's why I'm not, that fangirl that was like, brah, this is not my Star Wars anymore. And now I'm just like, you know what? There's something for everyone. And Mandalorian has cool stuff in it. And and even if it's different tonally, some people are really enjoying it.
Tonally speaking, though, sometimes we land on the moon and sometimes we have 9/11. Like the world has different tones.
Damn. Way to bring it down.
Well,
Roxy.
I don't mean to. I'm just
I
saying,
know.
like, life has different tones.
Totally.
Like,
Actually-
you look on your Twitter, and trending number 1 will be that there's a shooting in Florida,
Right.
which I don't even know what happened this morning that I saw. And
Right.
trending number 2 will be like
Justin Timberlake
holding somebody's hand.
and being and people getting upset about that.
And
That's
it's
so
like
weird.
exactly like, and I see those things like life has all tones.
Yeah.
all of the tones
At the same time, I think that's
yeah.
why our brains are being like sort of rewired with social media because we're just getting like, holy shit, this horrible news, and then I'm like, oh, look at Baby Yoda, he's so cute at the same time, and our brains
Right.
don't know what to do with it.
I'm not a moron. I've said plenty of times that the tone of a movie seems out of place. It's not like I'm just like all tones work for film, but
Right.
I'm okay when we have an entire universe tapping into different tones.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm okay with that. That wasn't the only Star Wars Mandalorian news, though. I saw that Episode 7 mark.
Episode 7?
Yeah.
Or episode 9.
Episode 7.
Yes, episode
I
7.
teed you up perfectly, and you just
sure did.
didn't. You just didn't
for
care.
some reason, episode 7. For some reason, I thought, why are we talking about Force Awakens?
No.
But then I realized we're still
Mandalorian
talking about the
episodes.
Mandalorian. So
Yep.
episode 7 of The Mandalorian is going to release early on a Wednesday because these drop on Fridays, that's going to be Rise of Skywalker. But on that Wednesday episode, we're also going to get a sneak peek at Rise of Skywalker, which I think is pretty cool. It's getting wow. So I think that's great. Of course we are. It's going to get everybody excited. If you are living under a rock watching The Mandalorian, you're going to know that Rise of Skywalker is coming out 2 days later. So I think it's smart, and it's getting people excited, and I'm certainly excited to, A, get it early, and to get a little bit more excited for Rise of Skywalker. However, I will say this. I'm not going to watch that sneak peek of Rise of Skywalker. I don't need to see anything else.
Me either. I just want to see the movie.
I'll watch.
Thank you, Christian Bale.
Because you will not watch it.